continues to fall, just a steady rain. The Seahawks leading the Redskins 7-3 as we get set for the third quarter. Redskins have rushed for 36 yards rushing. Clinton Portis, 24 yards on 12 carries. Longest gain has been 4. And unlike the first time they met, the third down conversion magic isn't working for the Redskins thus far.
No, not at all. Not at all. But they're still generating those turnovers. That Washington defense, their special teams contributed one today. So that has been the other part of that recipe for success down the stretch for the Redskins, and they've continued that this afternoon.
And Howie Long made a great point that is that the Redskins, who were paltry on offense last week in Tampa Bay, having problems here, but the Seattle defense, everyone talked about their attack. Their defense, many new faces, young players, quick players, and they have been a bit factor thus far. Josh Brown kicking off to Liddell Betts to start the second half. And Betts is hit as he gets to the 30-yard line. Let's go down to Tony.
Hey guys, how are you? I talked to Greg Williams as they were going in. He said his #1 priority, the defense has to attack the ball, give their offense a short field. Mike Holmgren said it's on Matt Hasselbeck's shoulders now. He talked to him at halftime. He says he doesn't have a great running game. He's going to have to go downfield a little bit more. I also did find out Sean Alexander will not return. He is out for the remainder of the game.
That is huge news, Tony. So Matt Morris will be the running back and not Alexander. But meanwhile, the Redskins on attack, and Brunell gets hit as he throws the ball out of bounds. Santana Moss was the intended receiver, and Grant Wistrom put the pressure on. There you see in the first half total yards in the wild card game against Tampa Bay, 78, even less so far today.
Yeah, that number went down last week in the second half. And, you know, I thought coming into this that Washington would do better offensively, because that Tampa Bay defense, #1 in the NFL in yards, very good. You didn't expect Seattle to play this well, but this offense has continued to struggle in the playoffs.
2nd and 10 at the 30. Seahawks starting to put pressure on Brunell a lot more. Here is Clinton Portis working his way out, and Portis, with his best run of the game, gets 7 yards. Kelly Herndon, by the way, has replaced Andre Dyson at cornerback. Dyson, who missed the last 4 games with a high ankle sprain. And there you see Jordan Babineau, who is also in the game at cornerback as well. So they're playing 5 corners. Right now, Herndon comes out on 3rd and 4. Arquan Manuel, the free safety. Again, a tight formation. From the 37. Brunell's pass, and over the hands of Chris Cooley. The pass overthrown, and that will bring up 4th down.
You see how tight this formation is, right? Look at all the players are in. When you condense your formation, you've got everybody in tight. It's hard to find those openings in the zone. Chris Cooley does a good job, drifts to the outside, then sneaks back behind Lofa Tatupu, but he can't pull it in for the catch.
So Derek Frost will be kicking for the 7th time today. Jimmy Williams coming up will let the ball bounce at the 30. And it takes a Redskin roll and goes out of bounds. Puget Sound here in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle. They've had rain nearly a month.
The NFC Divisional Playoffs on Fox are sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
Seahawks with their first possession of the second half, first down on the 19. Hasselbeck's pass to Jeremy Stevens in the tight end with his first grab of the game. Who knew, Darryl, that we'd be seeing a game that we would expect tomorrow with the Carolina-Chicago game, but not this one?
No, we didn't expect this to be the case today. And here's one of the reasons why. You look at some of these names that are out. I mean, obviously, Sean Alexander at the top. Darrell Jackson's come back in, but he's got a knee in the back. He got Dyson, who's questionable. Leroy Hill went out, but he's back in. But Sean Alexander, that's going to be a tough one for this group to overcome.
Maurice Morris straight ahead for the first down. If you're wondering about Morris, he has had a big game this year. Gained 104 yards against the Houston, Texas And another injury on the field.
Walter Jones, my goodness. I mean, how many more high-profile guys for the Seahawks can we go down today?
And this is the team that got the bye, that had the week off. And they got healthy. They were, for the first time, really pleased that they were able to get a lot of their players back in action, such as Andre Dyson, who since has gone out, and many of the others. But there you see Walter Jones leading the game, and Floyd Womack, number 77, replaces him. Who's the favorite receiver for Hasselbeck? Obviously, it's Jackson, who has caught 7 of the 9 passes thrown by Matt Hasselbeck. First down at the Seattle 32. Play action. Pass caught by Stevens and ridden out of bounds by Ryan Clark. So Jeremy Stevens with a 4-yard gain, and he has an 8-inch height advantage on Ryan Clark. So that could be somewhere for Hasselbeck to go. Jeremy Stevens finally coming through this year after a couple of questionable seasons.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to get him involved in this offense right now. With Sean Alexander down, if the game is on Matt Hasselbeck's hands, like Tony talked about, then these other guys have to start being more productive in the passing. And Jeremy Stevens, you know, he's had 2 catches so far early in the second half, but he needs some more down the field.
Second down and 6, and a flag is down, and they wanted to go again to Stevens downfield, but a penalty marker is thrown. They ignored Stevens in the first half, and then all of a sudden a steady diet, and the preliminary signal is that it's against the Redskins.
Illegal contact. Defense number 98. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
So Lamar Marshall's penalty gives the Seahawks a big first down.
And probably on Jeremy Stevens. He releases, he comes up. There's the contact right there beyond the 5 yards, just enough to get him off that route, though. You saw that ball was just barely thrown beyond his grasp. So that illegal contact, the reason for the incompletion.
Greg Williams dialing up the defenses. Of course, he will remain in Washington with a very healthy contract after being moved by many teams. Hasselbeck losing the ball, picking it up and still trying to make a play, and going downfield to Ingram, and the ball is knocked away. Very nearly made a heroic play to make up for the bobble, and Ingram was covered by Clark and Taylor downfield, but Hasselbeck, great awareness and ad-libbing after losing the ball.
What great defense by Ryan Clark and Sean Taylor, because normally you would be running up to the line of scrimmage on this. The quarterback fumbles it back. When I looked up and saw Bobby Ingram down, I was surprised to see some defenders with him, because you're never thinking that the quarterback's going to do that. And then again, Sean Taylor, boy, he's made some athletic plays. He had that great deflection in the end zone on that opening drive, but he's been putting some big hits on people.
And Ingram really timed it, had his hands on the ball, very nearly made the catch.
Great discipline by Seattle, too, because you would have expected somebody to be down the field.
The first action by the quarterback was a forward pass, incomplete. Please reset the game clock to 12:17.
So they'll add 5 seconds.
Saying that was an incomplete pass on that first attempt, so no fumble there. So even the heroic effort by Matt Hasselbeck and Bobby Ingram would have gone for naught.
Meanwhile, Walter Jones, who's gone a 6th straight Pro Bowl, has come back in the game at left tackle for the Seahawks. 2nd and 10 at the 41 of Seattle. Handoff to Maurice Morris. Morris with the burst straight ahead, close to midfield, short of the first down by about 3.5 yards. Lamar Marshall on the tackle. So Morris trying to give the Seahawks a running dimension without Sean Alexander, who came out of the game with a concussion in the first quarter.
You see, this has been a defensive battle. 12 punts, 11 3 and outs. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Sure we're not at a Bears game.
It sure seems like we're in the wrong city.
3rd down and 3 at the 48. Coming up for a possible blitz is Sean Taylor. Meanwhile, time, and the catch by Joe Juravicius. Hasselbeck had enough time. Great blitz pickup that time, and Juravicius with a 31-yard catch down to the 21-yard line of the Redskins.
What great ad-lib by Matt Hasselbeck and Joe Juravicius, because this is a guy who's completely covered. Watch Matt Hasselbeck. He directs him right there. This is not a double move. That was Carlos Rogers with great coverage on Joe Juravicius, and they improvise in the middle of the play. He's going to run a hitch. No, go. Just turn around and go.
And Rogers tried to jump that route, and the first catch of the day by Juravicius, who had 10 TD receptions this year. First down, and rolling out is Hasselbeck. His pass is caught by Darrell Jackson, close to the first down. Sean Taylor on the tackle. They had to get to about the 10-yard line for another first down. So once again, the Seahawks on the arm of Matt Hasselbeck, threatening, leading 7-3.
I'm really surprised that Greg Williams hasn't adjusted to bringing more of that pressure that Redskin defense is so known for. I mean, the big concern was Shaun Alexander in the running game. I figured once he was out that you would see a change in his approach, but we still haven't seen that yet up to this point.
Meanwhile, Jackson has caught 8 passes for 106 yards and the touchdown. Handoff to Morris. Morris finally dumped at about the 6-yard line. 5-yard pickup. Carlos Rogers making the tackle. So this team is rising to the occasion without Shaun Alexander, the offensive MVP in the NFL. He's one of the big reasons why.
Well, this is why I think that Seattle is in a different place than they have been the last couple of years. They have been a team that we had high expectations for, and they've kind of let us down when they've got to the playoffs. But there's something different about this team this year. There's a better approach. They enjoy each other's company. The chemistry of this team, they're able to overcome adversity like they're facing this afternoon.
Second down from the 5, and the ball is tipped again. And incomplete. So
Joe Salavea does a great job of getting penetration, has 2 guys on him, reaches up and blocks that pass right there. Nice job by Joe.
It's just amazing how they can get their hands on all these passes, the timing of them, and the ability to get the hands up right in the throwing lanes of the quarterback. As Tony pointed out, he's double teamed, but he still knows to get his hand up, and he's right in the line of sight of Matt Hasselbeck.
The big difference I see, Moose, is they're getting a pass rush now. They're just not staying on the line of scrimmage, trying to push the guy and get their hands up. They're actually getting penetration and putting pressure on Matt Hasselbeck.
Third down from the 5. Hasselbeck running from the pocket, will try to make it in there. He'll get the first down. He'll get the touchdown. And Alexander leads the cheers. Matt Hasselbeck with a 6-yard run for the score.
That's one happy kid right there.
Well, they threw the game on his shoulders in the second half. He responded with this touchdown drive. He has matured so much in the last few years. As a quarterback, actually as a person, I believe.
There's a player down, Sean Spring on the far sideline, guys.
Sean Springs, who probably had the best shot at Hasselbeck going into the corner, being helped up. Springs did not play against the Buccaneers last week. And Matt Hasselbeck with a big smile, his first career postseason touchdown. So he has thrown one and run one. And now Josh Brown looking to give the Seahawks an 11-point advantage. Mike Holmgren, an offensive mind, going against the defensive Greg Williams as Brown hits the extra point, 14-3. It's Seattle's defense, the headliner. 14-3, Seahawks lead. We'll be right back. Seattle Seahawks with an impressive drive of 81 yards in 10 plays, capped by Matt Hasselbeck's 6-yard scamper, taking a 14-3 lead over the Washington Redskins. And now, Darrell, the Redskins now have to prove that they can move the ball and get some points if they have any chance.
Well, you never want to fall behind on the road, especially in a stadium as loud as this one is, but they don't have the ability to put points on the board quickly. Not in the style of offense they've been playing the last few weeks.
Liddell Betts returning from the 5. Breaks a couple of tackles and winds up at the 24-yard line. A 19-yard return. Joe Tafoya on the stop. We'll see how the Redskins and Mark Brunell respond. And the crowd here in Seattle in full throat as the Redskins begin from the 24. Clinton Portis back in the game as the running back. Brunell flush from the pocket. And will run and go out of bounds. And a penalty marker is thrown as Brunell picks up 6 yards.
He'll be holding on Washington.
Holding. Offense number 52. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
3 first downs today, and that's an NFL postseason low. The 6. There's John Marshall, linebacker coach, who has really come in and done a great job, and the guys touched on it in the studio. Ray Rhodes, the ex-Washington defensive coordinator, there he is here suffering a mild stroke. Has been in the booth today, but has not been in practices. Attended only 7 games. He had a recurrence of the symptoms, has not gone to practice. We saw him the other day, and he looked in fine spirits. Said, I got to really rehab, and I won't be stubborn this time around. First down and 20 following the penalty, and the pass is out to Santana Moss, and Moss can't get much after the catch. Tupu limits him to a gain of 3.
There's the speed of the Seahawks defense, and Washington coming in, they felt they played a very quick defense last week in Tampa Bay. They felt that Seattle was a little bit bigger, not as quick, but today they have just been flying around to the ball, and that play Washington has run with tremendous success this season, but the pursuit and the speed of that Seattle defense shut it down when Santana Moss was trying to come inside.
And you have to remember that this is a Seattle team that allowed only 17 points a game defensively, 7th best in the league. Second down and 17 at the 17. Hand off to Liddell Betts, nothing. And this is an inspired Seahawk defensive team. Lofa Tupu and Grant Wistrom, and loss of 3 to Betts.
Watch number 51 come around on this play. They had everything. It's like they knew exactly where that play was going. As everything's coming down, Lofa Tupu is coming around the corner right behind Grant Wistrom. They blow the whole play up in the backfield.
And Taylor Jacobs, we understand, taken ill, so Jimmy Farris, number 86, is in at wide receiver with Moss. Third down and 20 from the 5-yard line, and the pass bobbled and caught by Santana Moss. He has the first down. Big play, and Moss was clearly open downfield. 23-yard gain.
You sit back, you're going to play zone in this situation, try and force that quarterback to find the hole. Somebody had to blow an assignment, not Santana Moss coming across on a deep in route with nobody there. That just doesn't seem right. Look at that, just over the top of Lofa Tupu's outstretched hand.
Mark Brunell definitely threaded the needle on that one, Moose.
And that's the longest completion by Brunell in this postseason. First down at the 37 of Washington. Clinton Portis trying to cut upfield and tackled from behind by Joe Tafoya after a gain of 2. Ray Brown has cramps. His return is questionable, so Ray Brown, the 43-year-old guard who came in for Randy Thomas, who broke an ankle in week 15, and Corey Raymer now is filling the gap at right guard. Raymer also is a center, so he's a versatile offensive lineman. Second down and 8. From the 40. Pump fake. Brunell being chased. Completes to Cooley. And Cooley picking up a few extra yards after the hit. And that's the style of play that made him a big threat at the H-back spot. Gets 16 yards. With Michael Boulware finally bringing him down.
Well, at the top, we talked about taking the playmakers out for the Washington Redskins, and that's when you double Santana Moss. You got somebody over the top so he can't get behind you. The other addition to that is when you're guarding Chris Cooley, you want to cover him man-to-man because he gets in a lot of those situations you just saw. He's out in the flat, you dump the ball off to him late, and then he's making yards after the catch. But if you defend him man-to-man, he can struggle with that type of coverage.
In Seahawk territory at the 44, play fake, and Brunell stepping up, but he won't get it off. Craig Terrell with the sack. Back at midfield, and there's a penalty marker. Maybe offsides against the defense.
Offside. Defense. Number 69 line up in the neutral zone. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Joe Tafoya, and that's a big penalty against the Seahawks.
Oh, it sure is. Good pass rush by Craig Terrell on Corey Raymer, who's in for Ray Brown right there, beats him for the sack. But instead of 2nd and long, it's 1st and 5.
And the first penalty of the day against the Seahawks. Relatively penalty-free game, I would think, with only 4. First down at 5 on the 39-yard line of Seattle. Backpedaling, flag down. Here's Royal, and Robert Royal would have the first down pending the call. Leroy Hill makes the stop.
Well, this is going to be holding on Corey Raymer. Somebody's got to get him ready to play some playoff football because he's moving at a slower speed right now.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 86 lined up on the line of scrimmage, covering number 88.
So there's Jimmy Farris.
5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Who hasn't played much for Joe Gibbs this year, but forced into action right here. But Jacobs ill, apparently.
I don't know, he's up top there. I don't know. I mean, you've got a tackle down here, so he's covering up on the outside. Chris Cooley's back right there. That looks like a clean formation to me. I thought Corey Raymer got called for holding because he got beat across the face and took somebody down in the backfield.
Well, Farris comes out of the game, and they'll have the 3 tight ends. And a timeout called by the Seahawks, their first of the second half. 5:01 remaining in the third. Seattle 14-3. Back here in Seattle, Dick Stockton along with Darryl Johnson and the Goose, Tony Siragusa, our field analyst. Seattle calling their first timeout. First down for the Redskins on the Seahawk 44. Brunell faking left up the middle. Pass caught by Clinton Portis. Will be short of the first down by a yard. Tupu making the stop.
Situation right here where Joe Gibbs is elected to really just, he's putting the game in the hands of Mark Brunell now. It seems like both quarterbacks are in charge of their own destiny because Washington just hasn't been able to run on Seattle's defense either. So it looks like the quarterback who does the best in the passing game is going to be the group that comes out on top.
No one can run. Portis has gained 34. Morris for 34, leading Seattle. It is 2nd down and 1. And again, they go to Portis, not this time. And Portis stopped by Bryce Fisher and Leroy Hill, losing a yard on the play. But what a reconstituted defense we're seeing today, Darryl. Of course, Bryce Fisher, who is a free agent from the Rams, Darby from Tampa Bay, and the 2 rookies we said at linebacker.
You see the success that Washington has. They don't like to be in this situation where they have to throw the ball to win. Their recipe is establishing the run, pounding it, taking advantage when the passing game, some play action. You see right there, they're about to get off kilter.
Well, they're pretty balanced to this point. 3rd down and 2 from the 36. And Brunell throws nearly an interception. Marquand Manuel, the only one who had a chance to catch that pass intended for Cooley, and Grant Wistrom putting up pressure, and you wonder whether Brunell just wanted to throw it away.
Well, I don't know if he had a chance to throw it away because of Clinton Portis. He's going up against a defensive end that comes clean right there. Most guys just go down and chop him down. Clinton Portis, he is probably the best running back I have seen at picking up the pass blitzer. That time it was a defensive end. He still goes up and sticks his helmet in.
Well, the Redskins are going to go for it on 4th down and 2, and this crowd on its feet. The pitch to Portis. He has blockers. First down, Washington to the 30-yard line. A 6-yard gain. Herndon with the tackle. So Gibbs goes for it on 4th and 2 and a first down.
Watch Clinton Portis on this run. Kelly Herndon's coming up, number 31. He's going to blow it up right here. Little hesitation, little step, gets back inside. Here's Jimmy Ferris right there. He's going up against Kelly Herndon. Then he gets off of him, takes on Lofa Tatupu, a wide receiver, cracking on a linebacker.
First down at the 30 of Seattle. And here's Portis, and it looks like an option pass to Cooley. And the pass is broken up. How often do you see that kind of a play 2 weeks in a row as the Redskins tried it against Tampa Bay last year? Marquand Manuel broke it up.
Let's see if Chris Cooley did a good job selling this. And he just come out what you want to do. I mean, you're setting up the run. You're trying to make it look like a run. I think Chris needs to sell that just a little bit more. He gave Marquand Manuel enough time to recognize that and get back into the play.
How about 2 straight weeks trying that play?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him come up with the same action where Clinton's going to, raise up and throw the ball, but go to a different person.
2nd and 10 at the 30. Moss going in motion to the top. Again, a pump fake. Pressure on Brunell, throws it away. So the pressure this time by Rodney Bailey, number 95.
You know, guys, the pressure keeps coming where Ray Brown, from the side that Ray Brown is now out of. Corey Raymer is filling in, and that defensive line is smelling blood. He looks like he is so out of position. He's a center, but he's playing right guard, and they're taking turns over the top of him, getting a lot of pressure. He is pulling somewhat, but that right now is the weak link, and look for Seattle to take advantage of it.
Well, we just had a late flag come out.
Intentional grounding. Offense.
And Jimmy Ferris.
Offense number 8. There was no receiver in the area where the ball
protested.
Out of bounds, and the quarterback was still in the pocket.
See,
loss of down.
That was the big thing. He was still in the pocket. He can do that if he's outside of the pocket, but if he's in the pocket, the receiver has to be in the vicinity. Now, Jimmy Ferris is saying he was in the vicinity, but I don't believe that. Now, if he was outside the pocket and had done that play, it would not have been intentional grounding, but you can see right there, he just drifted straight back.
And Jimmy Ferris cut downfield, and the play couldn't have been the Ferris the way it was designed. So 3rd down and 20 following the intentional grounding call.
The noise is definitely increasing down here on the field. They need to get loud to help this defense right now.
3rd and 20. Brunell taking off and will slide at the 32-yard line. A 7-yard pickup. So this would be about a 49 or 50-yard field goal for Hall if they would go that route, but they're not.
You got a wet ball. It's raining out. That thing's going to be like hitting a log.
And before the game, when it wasn't raining, John Hall was barely making 52-yard field goals and not consistent. So 4th down and 13. Redskins have to get to the 20. And Brunell's going to go down. Bryce Fisher, 4-yard loss, and that is the first sack of the game. So the Seahawks will take over on downs at the 37-yard line, maintaining their lead of 14-3.
Here's Corey Raymer right here.
You know, you're only rushing 3 down defensive linemen. Right there, you see the left end. Corey Raymer in there, number 52, is looking inside. He needs to come back out and help on the inside move. He doesn't. That's where Mark Brunell steps up to get a sack with only 3 men rushing. That's a travesty, guys.
And Fisher led the team in sacks with 9 during the regular year. And you remember it's Randy Thomas who was out. A huge loss at right guard for the Redskins. So Seahawks take over, and the first play, a completed pass to Bobby Ingram, and Sean Taylor covering for a minimal gain of 2.
Well, it's been about the injuries this afternoon, and Seattle is weathering the storm with Sean Alexander, but to lose Ray Brown, it's somebody you don't think is going to have that big of an impact. But as Tony's pointing out with Corey Raymer in there, you know, you haven't had a chance to be on the field all season, and the first time you step onto the field, it's playoffs. The intensity is up, and you are going to struggle to match that intensity.
Walt Harris, who has started 12 games for the Redskins, replacing Rodgers. 2nd down and 8. And Hasselbeck stepping up and going deep. And the pass is caught by Barrel Jackson again, beating Taylor downfield, and Taylor is shaken up. A 37-yard catch and a brilliant game being played by Darrell Jackson.
Watch Matt Hasselbeck look everybody off to the left. He's going to come out. He's all the way down the left side. Last second, he turns and goes back to the right. That's why Darrell Jackson is so open on that side. I think that Sean Taylor came off him a little bit early because he was reading the eyes of Matt Hasselbeck.
And shaken up was Taylor. Jackson now with 9 catches for 143 yards.
Sean Taylor comes in, puts the big hit on, but takes the brunt of that. Tony talked about it earlier. We thought Sean Alexander might have had a burner, but that looks like one of those hits where you get one of those things where that thing's shooting down your arm.
Taylor, of course, who was fined $17,000 and ejected in the wild card game against the Buccaneers for spitting at Michael Pittman, the Tampa Bay Bucs running back. But now is up. But what a performance for Darrell Jackson, who underwent knee surgery. Last game was against the Redskins before he had the knee surgery. Played hurt in that game and had 7 catches.
A great job of looking off Sean Taylor by Matt Hasselbeck. You saw in that last replay, he had already opened his hips. He was breaking back towards the middle of the field and left Darrell Jackson open down the sideline.
So Pearson Prelo replaces Taylor. So you have Walt Harris and Prelo in for Rodgers and Taylor, for Springs, I should say. And a first down with nearly a minute remaining in the third quarter. Seahawks threatening first down on the 24. Maurice Morris going left with blockers. And coming up and breaking it all up is Philip Daniels, the former Seahawk. No gain on the play.
Great pursuit down the line by Philip Daniels. We hear a lot about him as a pass rusher, but watch on the running play. I mean, from the defensive end position, recognizing it, coming straight down the line of scrimmage to make that play all the way out by the sideline.
Things are looking up here in Seattle. The Seahawks are winning, and it looks like there might be a little sun on the horizon here, guys. These people have something to be excited about after 27 days of rain.
Still raining, however, looking for some blue sky. And that's what the Seahawks are giving their fans as Morris carries again. Morris close to the first down, about 1.5 yards shy, with Marshall and Clark defending, and that will be the last play of the third quarter as the Seahawks showing why they're the #1 seed in the conference. That's the end of the third with the score. Seattle 14 and Washington 3. This Fox NFL Divisional Playoff continues after a word from your local Fox station. 13 carries after Sean Alexander went out in the first quarter. Play action. Hasselbeck. And the pass caught by and the blocking version of the Seahawks tight end short of the first down thanks to Marcus Washington.
Well, when one of your guys goes down, somebody's got to step up, and today it was Darrell Jackson. And they put the game in the hands of Matt Hasselbeck, and this has been his go-to guy this afternoon. Big play after big play down the field in the passing game. And that's the thing. When you play a team that is balanced like Seattle is, I mean, they're great at running the football, but I think everybody has underestimated what they can do in their passing game.
They have a lot of versatility. So Josh Brown on to attempt a 33-yard field goal, and the kick is good. So Brown, who missed the chance to win a 47-yard field goal contest in Washington, adds to the Seahawk lead, 17-3.
The NFC Divisional Playoffs on Fox are sponsored by Hummer. Check out the new H3, Hummer like nothing else. By McDonald's. By Miller, there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And by FedEx Express, international shipping made easy.
Twice this season, the Seahawks have not allowed a touchdown. December 5th in a 42-0 romp at Philadelphia. A week later, beating the 49ers 41-3 right here. Josh Brown kicking off. Liddell Betts going deep for the Redskins. Betts from the 2-yard line. And brings it out to about the 25. Early here in the fourth quarter, Mark Brunell and the Redskins trying to find the answer to this very stingy Seattle defense. And the Redskins have to contend with the Seahawks defense and this crowd. Ray Brown back in at right guard, suffered cramps. And a first down at the 24. Mark Brunell. Play action, and his pass wide open is Chris Cooley into Seattle territory. Cooley, who does not have a world of speed, however, gets to the 22-yard line. A big 51-yard pass play on first down. Boulware finally caught up with him.
Chris Cooley's out here off the wing. He gets a free release off the line. Nobody picks him up. He runs right through the linebacker level, and he's running free in the secondary. There's two guys in this passing game you have to worry about. You can't turn one of them loose in the secondary.
So officially it's a 52-yard pass play. First down to the Seahawks 24. And the quick pass out to Santana Moss. Moss is hit immediately, a loss of 1 on the play.
What a great play by Andre Dyson right there. That's one of the bread and butter plays for this Redskin offense. If you're going to slow him down, that's one of the plays that you have to stop, and he did it single-handedly.
Dyson, who came out earlier, got his starting job back after being injured with the high ankle sprain. Second down and 11. Against the 4-man rush, Brunell's pass caught by Moss and hit immediately at the 20. Not much running after the catch other than Cooley's romp. 5-yard pickup. Leroy Hill making the stop, bringing up third down and about 6.
That pursuit by this Seattle defense. I've been very impressed with them this afternoon. 23 passes for 89 yards. It's not a down-the-field offense.
No more dink and dunk, although they ended up with a big play to the dink and dunk H-back. Third down and 6. And Brunell, he's chased from the pocket and fires across play, and it's knocked away. And it's caught for the touchdown. Santana Moss. Moss makes the catch off the deflection. And the Redskins get their first touchdown of the game.
I cannot believe this got through all that traffic.
I think Dyson might have got a hand on it.
Oh, Mark Brunell, when he let this ball go, he had to be like, oh boy, I'm going to get it when I get to the sideline. Watch this thing come in. There's everybody. Tip, bang. Unbelievable. Great hand-to-eye coordination by Santana Moss.
Concentration, and the 20-yard pass from Brunell to Moss gives a big boost to the Redskins back in this game. And John Hall looking to add the 10th point. And very early here in this fourth quarter, the Redskins respond. The big play to Cooley, the deflection, touchdown to Moss, and the Seahawks lead is 17-10. Redskins battle back to cut the Seahawks lead to 17-10 with only about 3 minutes gone by here in this fourth quarter. John Hall will kick off, and Josh Scobie goes back deep.
That scoring drive, 76 yards, all 76 accounted for by Chris Cooley and Santana Moss.
2 of the 3 threats along with Portis going in. Scobie on the return, loses the ball, and the scramble is on. Wait for the official signal.
I tell you, if the Seahawk comes out of that pile with it, he's a heck of a man to be down there. Because that was all Redskin players around that ball.
Redskins get it. And the turnover, so the Redskins recover on Scobie's fumble.
Little bit loose. Comes in, gets a hit right on the ball. Trying to bring it up and tuck it away. It squirts out. Greg Williams said, if we're going to win tomorrow against Seattle, we've got to generate 3 turnovers.
Well, they're getting
There's
it.
number 3.
John Hall, the kicker, recovered it for the Redskins. So Hall recovers, and the Redskins will have a first down on the Seahawk 40-yard line. And you can see the reaction of the Washington bench.
1 turnover on the punt team, 1 turnover on the kickoff, or the 1 turnover by the kickoff return team. That one phase of the game that we always kind of forget about.
And that's where the Redskins shine. 3 turnovers for Seattle, first down from the 40. Brunell still can't find a receiver. And it tries to go to the near sideline to Clinton Portis. And the pass incomplete. Flag is down at the opposite side of the field on the 25. Ron Winter, the referee, going over to check the flag.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense number 21. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Andre Dyson working against Moss. There is the contact. Moss going right into Dyson.
You know, he's got as much right to that spot of real estate out there on the field as Santana Moss. I don't know if there's a speed bump call, but here's the recipes for success for these guys during this 6-game win streak, and they're doing it all today. Look at the sacks, but the takeaways that they've had today. The offense starting on a short field. Washington's offense has really struggled going the distance. That's why that last drive of 76 yards was very impressive. But the other one was a short field on the fumble punt. Now they've got another short field.
End around to Santana Moss, stops and then goes upfield and picks up only one when all is said and done. Greg Terrell making the play. So the Redskins have lived on the short field during this 6-game winning streak, including the Tampa Bay win last week. Remember, they started the game having to go the distance and could not make any kind of headway.
Well, after a real big defensive battle in the first half, we're starting to see the offenses start to have a little bit of success.
Second down and 9 on the Seahawk 34. Looking one way, here's Cooley, and Chris Cooley is tackled a yard short of the first down by Lofa Tatupu. Ray Brown was out front blocking, and the Redskins gained 8 yards.
Chris Cooley out here, going to get into your screen again. It's that it's one of the plays that these guys run all the time. Slips out. Ray Brown out front. Got a little sidetracked. Can't put the big man out in space on a defensive back.
Don't you dare point out a guy who's been in the league 20 years, Moose.
I thought he was going to light him up. I didn't know he was going to. That's putting a guy out there with a chance to be unsuccessful.
Third down and 1. Taylor Jacobs is back on the field. Third and 1, and the pitch is to Clinton Portis, turning the corner. First down, and Portis is driven out of bounds by Michael Boulware, but he gets 2, and a first down to the 23 of the Seattle Seahawks.
You get these plays on the perimeter, and sometimes you'll bring in a guy to crack. You're going to have Robert Royal come in and crack this side. Now, that guy's got to tell him 88's coming in. You give him the crack call, so he knows and he can fight across the face. If not, you've sealed that play off from the inside out. It allows Clinton Portis to get on the edge with enough yards for the first down.
And Chris Samuels with a key block as well. First down on the 24. And that was Royal on the right side, making contact with Bryce Fisher. No hard feelings.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Penalty is on John Jansen. The statistical story right now is tightened up. Neither team is nearing 100 yards. And the Redskins within 30 of the passing yards. Tight game. First down and 15 following the penalty. Back at the 29. And here's the pass to Liddell Betts. And Betts getting inside the 20. Short of the first down by about 5. Boulware again making the play with help from Fisher, but a 10-yard pickup.
They've gotten so good at running this plays. They're giving everybody a chance to run that little slip screen on the outside. We've seen Taylor Jacobs get a shot at it. Liddell Betts had one. Cooley had one on the other side.
Darryl, I think it's amazing what the Redskins are doing with limited offensive ammunition.
Well, they're starting to get the other people involved, and that's something they needed to do a little bit early. A little bit conservative early on with their game plan again, but then all of a sudden they recognize the fact it's going to be hard to run. They've let Mark Brunell have a little bit more freedom with some plays down the field.
And here's Liddell Betts on the inside running play off the shotgun. No gain. Hill and Babineau, the cornerback. Seahawks leading the Redskins 17-10.
You know, those little dump plays, Moose, that we keep seeing to the outside, that really wears down the defensive line, because you got to go take on the offensive lineman and run constantly from sideline to sideline. I think that's what the Washington Redskins are trying to do, is wear this defense down a little bit.
They're bigger. They may be smaller and athletic, but they're trying to do just that. 3rd down and 4. And Brunell's pass off the hands of Santana Moss.
Wow, you can see that one coming all the way across the field.
And that will bring up 4th down, and the
you know, sometimes you put your faith in your quarterback that he's not going to hang you out like this. Not only does he have Marcus Trufant walking right up to deliver the big hit, but he sails it a little bit on top of that. So Santana Moss has got to expose himself. I tell you what, Marcus Trufant really could have taken a shot at Santana Moss on that play and didn't get him nearly as good as he could. Probably why he avoided that penalty.
So Brunell comes out, and John Hall, who has a 26-yard field goal thus far. This will be a 36-yard attempt. And looking to bring the Redskins to within 4. And a flag thrown in the end zone, the direction in which Hall is kicking. Ron Winter.
There is no foul for delay of game. The ball was not ready for play because of the wet conditions.
Common sense move.
Blame it on the rain.
The rain is probably the lightest it's been since it started to come down at the top. So here it is, 36-yard attempt for Hall. And he misses, hooked it. John Hall misses a 36-yard field goal. And the Seahawks will take over. In a game like this, those kinds of misses are critical.
Well, you'd stolen all the momentum back. You have that long scoring drive. You cause a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. Your offense comes down and has an opportunity for points. John Hall, I mean, look at him. He knew he pulled that one. Something looked like it was wrong with his mechanics all the way.
Now, this isn't a high-scoring game, so when you have a close game, which the defenses have dominated, 3 points looms large. So the Seahawks take over on their 27, still leading by that count of 17 to 10. And now Sean Springs has come back to the game at cornerback for the Redskins. Maurice Morris ducking under, picking up a couple on 1st down.
It's amazing what they have done today without Sean Alexander in the lineup offensively. I mean, Maurice Morris has come in. He's done what he's asked to do as a backup running back. He's come in. He's been productive. But you look at what Matt Hasselbeck has done. He's also got a rushing touchdown. Darrell Jackson has stepped up immensely today.
And made those 9 catches. Many of them have been very tough grabs. So not only has Sean Springs come back, Sean Taylor as well. 2nd down and 9. Hasselbeck to Morris out of the backfield. Maurice Morris turns on the burners, goes out of bounds, and a 1st down to the 44, picking up 17.
Had to be a blown coverage right there. And Maurice Morris is out in the flat. There's nobody around him. And this is the patience of Matt Hasselbeck. Take what the defense gives you. Look, there goes Maurice Morris out to the flat. There's nobody within 10 yards of him.
Well, they're not expecting him to come outside. You know, Sean Alexander only has 15 receptions, something they did talk about. They don't have to worry about the running backs coming out for passes, but obviously right there they broke a tendency.
16 of 26 for 216 yards and a touchdown. As Darrell said, also ran for 1. 1st down, and here's Morris off the left side. And Philip Daniels right there, and the gain of 3 yards. Want to remind you tomorrow, the NFC Divisional Playoff, Bears and the Panthers in Week 11. The Bears won. Panthers were favored in that game, as Jake Delhomme was sacked 8 times And Steve Smith had a career high 169 yards and 14 catches.
Chicago really dominated that game in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Obviously, you see defensively with the 8 sacks. But then, you know, that was a time of the year when they were pretty much a one-dimensional offense, and for them to get those yards against that defense with all those people in the box, impressive.
Morris carried off the right side, gets 2 yards with Evans on the tackle. Sean Alexander, an early exit today, fumbled the first possession by Seattle on the Washington 10, and then suffered a concussion and left the game in the first quarter. Carried 6 times for 9 yards. And the Seahawks have picked up the slack, leading by 7 as we get close to 5.5 to go in the fourth. Third down and 6.
Here comes that pressure.
Back strong. First down. A lot more.
Yeah.
Max Strong gets an opening, and that's one of the things you talked about. The audibles by Matt Hasselbeck to a run really calmed him down and made the Seahawks more effective.
And the reason you don't like to bring pressure is that against the running team is you get all these guys up inside. If you can break that initial wave, there's nobody else behind. A poor angle by Omar Stoutmire allows Max Strong to get on the corner, and then, you know, you're into the secondary. There's nobody else there. Omar's got to make that play, came underneath, and once he got around there was no support.
Good for 32 yards, and the Seahawks with a first down on the 20. That's a career-long run for Max Strong as Morris tests the middle of the line, and Washington is there.
That might be a career total for the game rushing for Max Strong.
Those fullbacks don't get much respect, do they, Moose?
No, no.
And an injured player is Cornelius Griffin, who missed a couple of games with a hip flexor. But a huge run from Max Strong, who's going to his first Pro Bowl. And well-deserved. We'll be right back. And we're back here, and going off the field now is Cornelius Griffin on his own power, and replaced by Cedric Killings, number 91, at defensive tackle for the Redskins. The Seahawks have outrushed the Redskins 116-59, and that is without Alexander being of service. Morris with 49, Strong with 35, and Hasselbeck has added 23.
Yeah, a fullback with a franchise record.
That was for you. Second down and 8.
All Pro along with his Pro Bowl honors this year. He hit the double-double.
And All Pro, right? Morris with strong blocking, doing a great job. Flag goes down, and Maurice Morris is stopped at the 16-yard line by Daniels and Taylor.
Matt Hasselbeck ran over there to lobby some kind of point, and he's got a conference going right now. Maybe he talked him out of something.
Robbie Tobeck also wasn't too happy with whatever they're calling. He was lobbying pretty well himself.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal hands to the face. Number 98 defense. Holding. Number 61 offense. Those penalties offset. Replay, second down.
Well, Tony, now we know why Tobeck was not pleased, and Marshall on the other side. So, offsetting penalties, they'll replay the down.
The wall works out. Matt didn't want to call, so it's kind of like it wasn't called.
Joe Gibbs, who retired for 11 years, came back at 6-10, trying to contend with the Seattle Seahawks with Alexander knocked out of the game in the first quarter. But look at the support he's gotten from other running backs, including the quarterback.
Max Strong averaging 17.5 a carry.
With under 4 minutes to go, handoff to Morris, and hit immediately, storming in with Sean Taylor and Marcus Washington, limiting Morris to a 1-yard gain. Now trying to use the clock or the Seahawks to set up for a possible field goal attempt. There's the owner, Paul Allen, of the Seattle Seahawks. Went on the radio yesterday and saluted the fans for their great support. Coming out of the game shaken up was Morris.
Now you got to go to Max Strong.
Well, I hate to have you call plays, on a team, because the fullback would be the leading rusher. There he is. Third down.
There you go.
And the handoff to Strong, and he'll be stopped at the 13. The old Brett Favre fake jump pass handoff for 4. Prelo on the tackle, and a timeout called by the Redskins, stopping the clock with 2:58 to go.
And the one person we haven't called his number quite a bit this afternoon is Marcus Washington. I mean, he's been a huge playmaker for the Redskins, and he's had a quiet afternoon today.
Don't forget, tomorrow it'll be the Panthers and the Bears. Nathan Vasher intercepted a Jake Delhomme first quarter pass, returned to the 8-yard line, set up Hussein Muhammad for a touchdown. Vasher, another interception, leading to a field goal. It was 10-0 Bears in the first. Panthers' only score was a field goal in 4 quarters. 8 sacks, as we mentioned, against Jake Delhomme. And the Bears won it 13-3. It was their 6th straight win in an 8-game streak. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox Sports, America's most watched NFL network. Josh Brown will attempt a 31-yard field goal, and the kick is good. And the Seahawks now lead by a score of 20-10. Second field goal of the game for Brown. And now it is a 2-score game for the Redskins. They need 2 scores to come back in this one.
Well, coming away with no points after that fumble on the kickoff return on that missed field goal. That's going to be huge down the stretch here, because you pointed out that it's a 2-possession game right now. And I just, they had that one drive where they were able to get Chris Cooley and Santana Moss involved. But this is not a quick strike offense. It's not built around that. It hasn't been that way. In the middle of the season, they were putting up some yards and things, but the last 6 weeks, it has not been built that way.
Especially the way Washington have had trouble in postseason. Well, tomorrow night on Fox, the wait is over. Television's biggest event of the new year finally here. 2 nights, 4 hours. The 24 2-night premiere begins tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, right here only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. And how enthusiastic are you of that great show?
We bought TiVo last year because of 24. And, this time of year is great for 2 reasons. Playoff football, and 24 is back on TV.
And we have seen Kiefer Sutherland interviewed all over the place in television, other networks. Brilliant cast led by Kiefer Sutherland.
You've been talking about it so much, Moose, I'm going to have to watch it myself.
Oh, you're going to be hooked for the next several months.
Liddell Betts returning Josh Brown's kick and gets hit solidly at the 26. So 2:49 on the clock. And the Redskins have 2 timeouts remaining. So Mark Brunell, until the last possession, it's been kind of an under-attack day, passing and running. He's going to have to let it go a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, you're forced into this situation now, and that big play to Chris Cooley got that offense jump started on the long drive where they were able to get some points. But I don't know, now this Seattle defense, they can sense it. I mean, you can hear the crowd getting ramped up right now. I mean, this is I don't expect to see them to find people running free in the secondary.
Brunell on first down, and wide open is Portis. And Portis will only get about a yard and a half. Lofa Tatupu was right there to defend Portis. And the hurry-up offense now. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
This is an opportunity for Seattle to bring some pressure. You don't want Mark Brunell in the backfield. They're feeling comfortable. He'll pick you apart.
Hampered by the sprained knee, and here they come. Brunell escapes trouble right now, and his pass thrown into the Redskin bench.
They're not doing it with one-on-one pass rushes up front, Tony. When they've gotten that pressure, they're running some games, doing some twists inside.
Yeah, them twists are all good and great, but if they go and pass you a little bit, it gives the quarterback an extra half or 1 second to go and sit back there. Those quarterbacks are very aware of what's going on up there when you run them line stunts. 3rd down and 8.
Tough place for a big drive if you're the opponent. And Brunell is sacked back at the 20 by Chuck Darby. The loss is 8 yards and 4th down coming up. The fans here in Seattle have been on their feet the entire 4th quarter. They lifted the 12th man flag, emblematic of this great fan support, which also includes a fan not expected to be that in Sean Alexander today.
These fans are really pumped up, like you said, Dick. They've been up on their feet the whole 4th quarter. They're ready to go today.
2-minute warning. We'll be right back. 2-minute warning. The Redskins need 2 scores, but their season on the line right here, starting from the 20-yard line, or at the 4th down and 16 from the 20. They've got to get up to the 36 to stay alive. Mark Brunell looking downfield, fires it up. Santana Moss makes the catch to the 40-yard line of Seattle. And there is Brunell hobbling upfield, and a 40-yard pickup as Moss, almost like a street yard game that you'd see.
Well, Mark Brunell does a great job keeping that play alive. Great chemistry between quarterback and wide receiver, adjusting on the play.
From the 41-yard line. Again, Brunell has to ad-lib, but flags are down. The pass caught by Portis. Clinton Portis still on the run. It gets inside the 15, but 2 flags are thrown down at midfield.
I think we got offensive holding, and it's coming back.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So instead of the huge gain, and you kind of felt it here, Chris Samuels called for the holding penalty, and they'll bring that one back. Matt Hasselbeck, who has thrown for 1 touchdown and run for another, and Darrell Jackson having a playoff record game with 143 yards, a touchdown catch, and 9 receptions. So it's 1st down and 20 now after the penalty on the Redskin 49. .123 on the clock, and the pass out in the flat to Robert Royal, the tight end, and they pick up 5 on the play. Today's game being produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate director is Charles McDonald. The replay producer is Larry Lancaster. The sideline producer is Robert Slosby. The associate producer is Wayne Wilson. The broadcast associate, Corey Brocious. The technical producer is Bob Mueller. 2nd down and 16 on the 47 of Seattle. Time a major factor here with 1:18 to go. And Brunell going back and goes up the middle, caught by Liddell Betts, and gets a few extra yards inside the 40. It'll be 3rd down, and now the Redskins will call another timeout. Here is the scoring recap, and mistakes early really hurt the Seahawks. 3-0 lead as a result of that turnover on Hall's field goal, but then Darrell Jackson with a 29-yard touchdown run. Hasselbeck made it 14-3, and then Brunell hit Moss off a deflection. It was 17-10, and then the field goal makes it 20-10, and the Redskins are down to 1 timeout remaining. By the way, the pregame show was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And we'd like to thank our spotter, Chris Visser, our statistician, Rick Odioso, and Mike Eldridge in the truck as well. Great job by everyone. 3rd down and 7 on the 38. Obviously 2-down territory. The flip to Royal. And Royal is upended short of the 1st down at the 33 by Trufant and Boulware. So now, with 54 seconds remaining, the Redskins use their last timeout. It'll It'll be 4th and 2.
Never forget that Cowboy game earlier this year against those Redskins. You know, I think everybody had them counted out in that in a 2-possession game late in the game, and they somehow found a way to pull that one out. So this thing, even with 54 seconds left and them needing the 2 scores, I wouldn't go anywhere just yet. I've seen it happen before with this group.
This team has won 6 in a row. They were counted out at 5 and 6. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, after losing the game at Green Bay to finish up the year, had won 11 in a row. Joe Gibbs and Mike Holmgren, 4 Super Bowls between them, with Joe Gibbs capturing 3 with 3 different quarterbacks. Speaking about a guy who knows how to coach quarterback.
Yeah, great offensive coach.
4th down and 2 from the 33. And Brunell going for everything in the end zone, and it's unable to hold on to it was Moss. He looked like he had it, and it bounced out. Michael Boulware was on the coverage.
That's Santana Moss coming in motion. Not a double move or anything. He's just downfield one-on-one with a safety. You don't like that matchup. Makes an adjustment at the last second. Michael Boulware, what a great job getting his arm in there.
But Moss was there, and now the Seahawks will take over on downs, and now we have to go back to the missed field goal by John Hall, 36 yards out. In a game like this, points are precious. Could have brought the Redskins to within 17 to 13. Josh Brown makes the field goal, and then they would only need a touchdown and an extra point to tie the game. But right now, the Seahawks can run out the clock. Redskins are out of timeouts.
I think this really kind of defines what this Seahawks team has been about this season. Not in seasons past, but this season. They're able to overcome adversity. They can make amends for the things that happened. Sean Alexander goes out early in the game. They're down 3-0 in the turnover battle in this game. Somehow find a way to fight all that adversity, and they're going to be hosting the NFC Championship game here next weekend.
For the first time in franchise history, Darryl, and this is a team in which Mike Holmgren didn't know what his future was going to be. A lot of changes had to be made. They took away his general manager's job and became the coach. Is he going to continue that way? Matt Hasselbeck grew. Huge game for Seattle. And for the Washington Redskins, well, how longer could they dig down deep? Their streak ends and their season ends, and the Seahawks move on. Final score, the Seahawks 20, the Redskins 10. Seattle move on to the NFC Championship game, and we'll be back here at Seattle following these messages. It was a long drought, but the Seahawks win their first playoff game since 1984 and remain undefeated here at home. And now for the UPS leaderboard, Matt Hasselbeck with a touchdown pass and a TD run. Fullbacks always deliver, says my partner Max Strong with a 32-yard run, and Darrell Jackson team playoff record in receiving yards. So this is Dick Stockton for Darrell Johnston and Tony Siragusa saying so long from Seattle. Final score, Seahawks 20, Redskins 10. Up next, Fox NFL coverage continuing with the Subway postgame report from Los Angeles with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy right after these words on Fox Sports, America's most watched NFL network. So long, everybody.